Hi there, greetings and salutations. My microphone's falling, Derek. We're off to a horrendous start. Let's just pack up and go home.
All you have to do is adjust it beforehand.
What do you mean? Well, I just adjusted it. And watch this. One little tap.
So you're able to understand when we are ready to go. We are ready to go. Is everything set? Do you look nice? Is your shirt brushed off? Are there crumbs on your face?
Hi, my name is Jake Query.
Set?
Sitting next to me is the perfectionist Derek Schultz, who has answers for everything.
I look great.
He is, of course, the do-it-yourself home improvement guy, unless, of course, he's calling in Chateau Kitchen to do everything for him.
That's right.
And then he takes credit for it. Anyway, this is Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We are inside the Illuminati studio, and the show is, of course, brought to you by Bailey & Wood, who's keeping your money right here in Central Indiana when it comes to the best mortgage rates, and they have an upcoming golf event that we'll talk about later in the program.
August
But, Derek, it's summertime, and this is what's interesting to me. You and I have done a show together now for how long? Too long.
August of 2011, so almost 12 years.
The month,
Dirty dozen.
The month his life changed forever.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, we have done, obviously, that would be, how many summers?
Oh, God.
August of 11, so 11 doesn't count. 12,
yeah.
13, 14, 15, 16,
8 of the
17,
radio
18,
show.
19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Spray tan's wearing off.
Well, we barely did a summer because we started August of 20 on this show. So we're almost celebrating 3 years on this show.
Okay. So, wow. Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that just crazy?
Thank you for all who make that possible, by the way.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are listening and watching.
And to thank ourselves, I guess, for being great. For the show. Obviously, if we weren't awesome, then they wouldn't be doing this show. So thanks to you, thanks to me.
Was that the first time you've actually recognized and admitted that I'm awesome?
The show is like, the 94 Bulls were awesome. Stacey King wasn't so awesome, but he was on the 94 Bulls. So Query and Schultz is a great show. Jake is Jake's okay. Stacey King is mean. John Paxson? Like, I'm Jordan.
Okay.
Was Bill Wennington on that team?
Luke Longley?
Yep. Luke Longley, I don't think was there yet, 94. Okay. Well, actually, 94 would have been the year that Jordan first retired. So 93 Bulls is what I'm thinking of. Sorry, Go ahead. Continue.
At any rate, typically this is the time of year where we're talking about, we did our wildly popular Catching Up With series because there just isn't much to talk about. Mm-hmm. It's only been in the last, honestly, this year. Last year, maybe it started to grow a little bit, but this is the first year that I can remember the NBA Summer League being a thing. And I'm talking about, it's crazy to me, and a lot of that is Victor Wembanyama, right? Yeah. But, Derek, they're playing in front of – I got people asking me for tickets, if I can get them tickets out there, which, it's cool. I like the guy that asked me, and I wish I could have helped out. There are none to be had. It's become an NBA convention. You got fans going out there and being able to see all these players. And it's like Super Bowl week on steroids, but in Las Vegas and with basketball games being played. But, oh, wait, they're not being played like in open gyms like the Maui Invitational. They're being played at the Thomas Mack Convention Center in front of 18,000 people.
Yeah, it's definitely grown. I think the reason why it feels more relevant here is that when the Pacers had a largely veteran team and it was like Orlando Johnson – and you know what I mean?
But, Derek, but what I'm saying to you is I get what you're saying, but even in that era, back then, Orlando Johnson played in the Summer League because nobody else wanted to. And now I think players kind of want to play in it for the first 2 or 3 years, not only to kind of keep the juices flowing, but because it's become a thing.
Yeah.
Like games are televised on ESPN. And like I said, they're playing in front of sold-out crowds. It's crazy to me.
And it's cool to see. I don't remember the veterans ever going, like Halliburton and Hield and all those guys. Obi
to
Toppin.
Go to watch.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm Tyrese Halliburton, man, I'm on a boat somewhere. Like, I'm not wasting my time watching basketball right now. Right? That's what I would be doing.
Well, that's why you're not
cool
Tyrese Halliburton.
That he is. I'm also a leader. But that's cool that he's there and supporting his teammates.
I want to know. I'd like for you to give me a list of things you've led.
I've led a lot of things. I actually led, thank you for saying that, something that we mentioned earlier on in the show, the discussions about the Catching Up With series. That was my idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
All of our trips to Purdue.
Thank you to Mike Chappell for taking the 46 phone calls from Derek for phone numbers.
My idea.
What was that?
All of the great segments of Query and Schultz history, Buffet King, were all my idea. Those were my personal life experiences. So I've led a lot.
We may have people that
I've
are
led
listening.
to 12 years
we
of the
might
show.
have people listening that are unaware of what Buffet King is.
Okay, well, very quickly, in a 1-minute nutshell, Buffet King is a delicious dining establishment in Lebanon, Indiana, lovely Lebanon. And they have a landline phone there. And when they answer the phone, they have an accent.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of people in Lebanon have an accent, but Buffet King, when they answer the phone, does not sound like Buffet King. It sounds like answering the phone saying something very, very different from Buffet King.
They have their syllable breaks in the wrong locations, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's a hard T on Buffet when really, that's a soft T. That's
well,
you don't even really mention the T at all.
It doesn't come at the end of the first syllable unless you're answering the phone at Buffet King, right?
Yeah, so we'll just leave it there.
Did we call them on the air once?
Can do that. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did do it. We were worried about FCC violations.
And you folks are wondering why this program went off the air at our old radio station.
So I called them off the air just to be sure that they were answering the phone that way, because this was a long, long time ago that we were calling Buffet King repeatedly. And yes, they still answered the phone the same way. So back to Summer League. Pacers had their debut on Saturday night. Their game against Orlando is going on right now as we speak, in fact, in Vegas. Jarris Walker, shot wasn't falling. 1 of 5 from 3. I think he missed 10 of the 13 shots he took, but was a stat sheet. I always struggle with that. Stat sheet stuffer.
Right.
Kind of a tongue twister. 13 boards, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals. And that's what it is to me, Jake, especially with him initially. If he can hit a shot or two, great. That's gravy. I'm not asking Jarris Walker to be a great offensive player. I just want him to defend and make a difference in the other areas.
Here's the thing. You can develop over the course of time a shot. You can develop over the course of time an ability to dribble with your offhand. You can't instantly or you can't work on energy. Mm-hmm. And you can't work on some things that are instinctive, like defensive placement, knowing where to block a shot. Those are the things that he brought to the table. His energy was instant. Yeah. And you could feel it instantly. And that does translate when you get – and when I say the next level, I realize this is the NBA, but the vast majority of guys that you're seeing playing are 6 weeks from Belgium, right? Mm-hmm. So you had to like the energy and the tenacity and the instinctive reaction that you got out of him. The other stuff will come in time, one would hope. The other thing that happened for the Pacers in Summer League, to me, that I saw was Andrew Nembhard continues to show just a really unique ability to get himself in open space and knock down shots.
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Yeah, really good.
And the fact that he was a second-round pick is unbelievable.
I know. I don't think he's ever going to be like maybe an all-star player. I'm not shut off to that idea, but clearly his ceiling is a lot higher than backup point guard,
correct,
which is what he was originally supposed to be. I actually feel bad, and I get, Keegan Murray and Jaden Ivey. There are other guys that fit this bill that are playing in Summer League. I feel bad for the rest of the Summer League that they have to play against Ben Mathurin because he's playing down. It would be like
he's punching down.
Yeah, it would be like a player at IU or Purdue playing Lawrence North or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's fair to have him out there.
What's
too easy for him.
Let me ask you this: what year did Conley and Oden graduate from Lawrence North? Was that 06? 06, right?
06, okay.
Who do you think would have won between the 06 Indiana team and the 06 Lawrence North
Well,
team?
you know what? The 06 Indiana team, the 05-06 team was Davis's last year was actually pretty good. They made the tournament and won a tournament game. That would have been like Robert Vaden, DJ White.
Yeah, not bad, right?
That group.
Okay, you had James Hardy, DJ White, Marco Killingsworth.
Yeah.
Roderick
Earl
Wilmot.
Calloway.
AJ Ratliff, Ben Allen.
Yep.
Who was the other kid that came along from Auburn?
Louis
Monroe. Yeah, so Oden and Conley would have held their own. The rest would have had some troubles, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have taken Crean's first team and put them against Oden and Conley, then yeah, that would have been
right.
Because Oden and Conley would have been the two best players on the floor by far compared to that team.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, they were a year away from being in the Final Four.
And
But Derek, the Summer League, back to that point. The NBA, what the NBA's done, and there's another element of this that we'll get to, but what the NBA's done a really good job of here, and I don't even know if it was by design or just it serendipitously fell into place this way, but we talked about this. I talked about this morning on the radio show. The NFL is it's not even the 800-pound gorilla. It's the 8,000-pound gorilla in sports and American culture. And the NFL, Derek, has done a masterful job of keeping itself relevant every month of the calendar year. Every month.
Yeah.
You know, you got the combine, you got the draft, you got free agency, you got season release date. I mean, it's just constant. The NBA fell into a trap where you had an 82-game season, and then that was it, and the draft. And the draft now is predominantly, European players or guys that are one and done, so you're not as familiar with them. But what they've done by doing this with the Summer League is they're keeping themselves in the conscience in their off season.
Yeah.
And it's great for the brand of the NBA. I mean, this is creating, and I saw a comment yesterday. Mark Monteith has a fabulous article on his website, markmonteith.com, an extremely expansive look back at the Pacers' history of Summer League, all the way back to when Jerry Sichting was playing in it and back to when, way back, players that were Summer League stars and et cetera. But in it, he has a comment in there from Donnie Walsh that said, I realized fairly early with Summer League that what I was doing was creating an audition for European scouts. And there's probably some truth to that. But you can find a guy or two that can help your franchise, and you can the guys that you know are going to be your players, it keeps them fresh. Benedict Mathurin, for example. So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Did you watch Wembanyama?
Yeah. Thought he had a welcome to the NBA sort of outing kind of early there. It's just different. There's going to be an adjustment period. I don't care how good of a prospect you are. There's really pretty much an adjustment period for everybody. And I think specifically kind of the physicality is going to be a little bit
I thought
different for him.
When I first saw him, my first thought was how long before Sean Bradley is trending on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Game number 2. So game number 1, I thought Victor Wembanyama really struggled. 9 points, I think.
Yeah.
Did not shoot the ball well. It shot an air ball from 3.
Or something?
Yeah, did not shoot it well at all. Game 2, a little more comfortable, 27 points, showed the versatility.
A little more giraffe than Giselle, right? Gazelle. Sorry, Giselle is Tom Brady's ex-wife. That's what he looked like kind of so far. So he's going to be fine, Jake. I'm not going to take 2 Summer League outings to
Do you
make
think
any
the
sort
Britney
of
Spears
judgment
thing
on
is
it.
weird?
It was odd. It's a weird. It's almost like a Mad Libs, like that they would even be in the same room. Then again, she does like a permanent show in Vegas, right?
What?
Like every night.
A residency there?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the word I was looking for.
Here's to me what is weird about it. For those that are unfamiliar, and I can't imagine you are not at this point, but to recap, Victor Wembanyama, the rookie sensation, number 1 overall pick for San Antonio, is walking through the lobby of a hotel casino in Las Vegas where the Summer League's taking place with his security entourage behind him, and Britney Spears sees him. And according to Britney Spears, she's like, oh my gosh, there's that guy that's the big NBA star that just signed a big contract. Like, I want to go congratulate him. So she walks up to get his attention, reaches up to, she says hit him on the shoulder. He's 7'5", she's 5'3".
Yeah.
So mid-range waist, if you want to say posterior or whatever, but she's reaching up. His security sees it and knocks her arm back, which causes her to hit herself, right? Now, my thing is this that I find so bizarre in this. Part of what I find bizarre about this is the fact that I seem to be the only one that finds this bizarre. But Britney Spears, Derek, you would know better than I. She's at this point, she's a little passé, right?
Yeah.
She's not the superstar she was in 2003.
Oh, yeah,
right?
no, not even close.
But even with that, with all of the Britney Spears is a ubiquitous presence in the American culture, even though her music has not been relevant maybe for 10 years.
Absolutely.
But the battle with her father over her assets and the kind of crazy stuff on Instagram, and she is a walking TMZ camera, right?
Yes.
She goes anywhere, and there's a throng of, it is impossible for her to go anywhere without TMZ and a million different, Us Magazine and everything following her everywhere, the paparazzi, etc. She has her own security team. For the last 25 years, anytime she has left her house, she has had to wade through hanger-ons and wannabes
it's
and
been her life
paparazzi. Correct.
forever. Yeah.
But yet, Victor Wembanyama is walking through the lobby of a Las Vegas casino hotel, and Britney Spears is there, and no one notices it?
Yeah.
Like, no one notices it. There's no, like, I don't care. I realize that he is about to be the biggest sports star on the planet. He is not yet. In what world right now is Victor Wembanyama the bigger media focus than Britney Spears? So the cameras were all focused on him, and no one noticed that Britney Spears is standing there?
Yeah, it's a little odd. Are you suggesting that it was staged somehow?
No, I don't think
okay,
that.
You just think this is weird?
I just think it's totally bizarre that no one was like – I think two things are bizarre. Number one, that Britney Spears just is starstruck by someone else.
Yeah.
Number two, that Britney Spears is there seemingly without her own posse.
I agree.
I mean, was she just like walking through because she wanted to go get some Stone Cold Creamery in the lobby of the casino, and oh gosh, there's a 7'5" guy walking past?
I hadn't thought that deeply about it, but you're right. It is. It's weirder than I gave it credit for.
Like, when was the last time Britney Spears went out of her house that did not require 25 people around her?
Yeah, 1995.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I guess I hadn't spent that much time. I saw the story like everybody else, and I thought, that's a little weird. And then that was kind of it. That's as much time as I spent on it.
I would think Victor Wembanyama, if he knew that Britney Spears was trying to get his attention, she probably could have had his attention. Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I don't know. It's hard for me now as a 40-year-old man, especially hard for you as 50, how to put people's relevancy into, like a 20-year-old's brain.
Well, but you got to figure this. So Wembanyama's, what is he? Is he 19 or 20?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was born in 2004. So when he was, let's say, 12 in 2015 or 16, she was still a pretty big star. She might have been. I mean, she was kind of flipping out at that point.
She was fading out of the public eye.
She was, but she's always been in the public eye.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a massive, relevant. Her music may not be, but she as a figure is still.
I mean, if you say the word Britney, people automatically know who you mean.
No doubt.
I would think.
I mean, there's a whole meme of like "Leave Britney alone" and all that. I mean,
I would think that people would know who that is.
Anyway,
but yeah, no, that's an interesting Jake observation for
Thank
sure.
You. It is time, by the way, for one of our wildly popular and shockingly unsponsored at the moment, I believe, right? Segments Bite or Bold Bleep, or is it sponsored?
Yes, it's sponsored. It's been sponsored for years.
I used to say that all the time. The wildly popular and surprisingly unsponsored.
When we had a radio show 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Chateau Kitchens is the sponsor of Bite or Bold Bleep.
See, I was thinking they were quick hits.
No. They're Bite or Bold
Sorry.
Bleep.
Coming up later in the program, we will have the wildly popular and surprisingly unsponsored Quick Hits.
Quick Hits is unsponsored.
But Chateau Kitchens does fabulous work, beautiful work. They do it, and I've seen it in Derek's kitchen itself. Fortunately, I have not seen it in his shower, but they did do that.
There it
is. That's probably where I've had a.
There it is. Look at that. Looks good.
Are you folks surprised that I blocked this part of it out?
Looks really good. Yeah. That was before I had trimmed.
Trimmed? Yeah.
Usually every 4 months or so, I cut, quarterly, I do a quick buzz just because it gets a little much there. It's a little bit harder to maintain. I usually shampoo it.
Shampoo what?
My chest hair. So it gets a little bit harder to maintain when it gets a little too out there. I want to make sure the health of the fibers in the hair stay good. If you're new to Chateau Kitchens Bite or Bold Bleep, here's what we do. Where's the hat? There's the hat. I give a statement, Jake and I go back and forth.
Can we change that? Thank you.
And we like to kind of move it around a little bit in the show, not always have it be the last thing that we do. While we're talking Summer League, how about this for statement one? Jarris Walker should start for the Pacers from day uno.
I think it's still early to tell that, Derek, but if he is able to bring to the table at the professional level with the same consistency he did collegiately in terms of his defensive tenacity and his ability to guard on the wing, notably, then it's hard to argue that because he does bring something to them that at a position that's of critical need.
I'm just surprised that people are shut off to the idea. Like I had mentioned Jarris Walker should start on Twitter, and somebody was like, It's ridiculous. Obi Toppin's been far more effective. And I'm like, far more effective? Obi Toppin's been a bit player for 3 years in the NBA. Like, don't get me wrong. Obi Toppin might end up being unleashed.
I like that jacket.
Yeah, me too. That's cool. He might end up getting unleashed here in an up-tempo offense, and maybe there's something there that Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks just didn't see that the Pacers can unbox. But I don't think Obi Toppin is some, like, accomplished veteran NBA player. Yeah, he's played 3 years. Who cares? If you're good in the NBA and you're 19 or 20 years old, who cares if you're experienced or not?
Right.
Get out there and get some run.
Obi Toppin, I think transitional offense is going to be big for him. Pick and rolls with Ty Halliburton is going to be big with him. And I'm not saying he's not a good defender, but I think Jarris Walker is probably an upgrade defender. And
you can take the probably right out of it. Yeah, I mean,
I would go
Obi's
with Walker.
Barely a mediocre defender, and he's his 3-point shot is meh.
You know what's disappointing?
It's all right.
What player is it that I saw that's Greg can help me out here? Or you? Who's
number
wearing
4?
Who's wearing jersey number 1?
Oh,
is it Jarris Walker that's going to be number 1?
Okay, yeah.
I wish that Toppin was that, because then he'd be Obi-Wan.
Statement 2, the NBA Cup is a silly idea that will be short-lived. Buy it or bull bleep.
This is the in-season tournament.
Mm-hmm. Which we'll talk about a little bit later on the show here.
Okay. I will say buy it, and I'll explain later what I think is going to be the issue.
Okay. Adam Silver seems to be really invested in this, so I don't think it's going to be short-lived, but you know what's going to happen, Jake. If the Pacers ever won this thing in December and there are pictures of them holding up the NBA Cup, yay! And then they get swept in the first round of the actual playoffs.
Correct.
It's going to be, you know how fans are. Yeah. They're going to be snarky and they're going to deride it. And
they're going to make fake banners.
What I don't understand is I get you're incentivizing the players with financial gifts for winning it. What's the incentive for fans? I'm supposed to care about this because you say I should care about this?
We will get into that in a bit.
Okay. So for now, I'd say short-lived, no. Bull bleep, silly idea. Yeah, I think it is kind of stupid to force-feed something. Finally, this is actually going on right now. Events like the Home Run Derby and the Slam Dunk Contest are still great. Buy it or bull bleep?
Bull Schultz. Home Run Derby's kind of cool, but and it's been spared a little bit because you don't have Chris Berman back, God! Yeah, it's a Home Run Derby. They're supposed to hit home runs, Chris. Let's calm down. But Pete Alonso doing weightlifting, and I just think there's a lot of players people don't know who they are.
That's why it's important to do this.
Shohei Ohtani should be out there.
Yeah, like LeBron should be in the slam dunk.
You know what I mean? You know what you should do? Here's the thing.
You've got everything to lose if you're those guys.
Here's what you do. You have Shohei Ohtani hit home runs, and then he has to go over and then pitch to the other guys trying to hit home runs, and you see who has a higher total. There's your home run.
Now we're getting just too quirky.
And
the
NBA
it.
Cup's not.
They're still great. Home Run Derby, Slam Dunk Contest. Yeah, it's fun. Baseball needs more fun.
Can you throw it a break? I've got to use the restroom.
Baseball needs a fun injection. I'm happy to. When we come back, there is a new social media trend that is going crazy, and
threading its way through the world.
It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Okay. Jake's got a potty break.
Nice snap.
Mortgages and snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Mortgages and snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back. It's Corey and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network alongside this empty chair. I'm Derek Schultz. Thanks so much for joining us in the Lou Malnati studio. We're presented by Bailey and Wood Financial Group. Threads, the new phenomenon, at least, I don't know, depending on when you're watching the show, maybe this won't be a phenomenon after tonight, Monday night, when we're taping this. But at least for now, it appears that people are really into Threads. What I'm very, very worried about with Threads, and we'll talk about it, I don't know, empty chair, if you've got any thoughts on this, but we'll talk about it when Jake gets back. I'm worried about Threads with live sports because if you are truly going to mimic
What I missed
what
here.
makes Twitter great, it's experiencing things as they happen as a community, as a group. So everyone experiencing something at the same time. One of my first real cumulative group Twitter memories was the night Osama bin Laden was killed. When we were all on Twitter, I found out about it through Twitter,
Right.
and then we all started celebrating on Twitter. But live sports, Jake, is what makes Twitter great. So if they're going to stay hell-bent on just doing the algorithm, they're going to lose out on a bunch of people
Now,
because
can you-
there's no way I would watch a Colts game on Threads. No way.
For the 50 and over crowd.
Yeah.
Explain what you mean by that
Explain
on
by
the
Threads. Okay.
algorithm.
So, first off, Threads is a Twitter competitor that was launched by Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and Meta, whatever they call it now. And you can kind of port your Instagram right over to Threads, but it's essentially a Twitter interface with a timeline. They have something on Twitter called For You, which is supposed to be a feed that is not only people you follow, but also some accounts that you might like based on what you've liked in the past or what you viewed. Let's say I clicked on a video from, NFL. I don't follow the NFL account on Twitter, but let's say I clicked on one of those videos. Chances are an NFL tweet would end up in my For You. Threads is all For You. It's all algorithm. So there are some people that you follow on there that you interact with, but in my experience, Jake, and you can tell me if yours has been different, I would say 3/4 of my feed are accounts that I don't follow.
So, Derek, and again, I think it's very easy for us, myself included, that would be why I said us, to assume that everyone's on Twitter.
No, very
And
very small amount
So
of people.
for those that are not on Twitter, the easiest way I can explain it is this. In the old days when you'd walk into the grocery store, there would be a thing on the right where people could just post things, like gardener needed, lost pet, whatever. It's
like a cork board.
A community message board.
Yeah.
So imagine if everybody has a Post-it note and puts one up there and you can read the Post-it notes of people of what's on their mind, okay? With Twitter, you get to select whose Post-it notes you want to see each day. And when you open up that website, they are all right there. Here's what Susie has to say. Here's what Jim has to say. These are people that you selected. With the Threads, it is attempted to look like that, but the company, not you, are selecting which Post-it notes you see. And so it's very convoluted and confusing. The Threads feels and looks like it feels like Twitter and it looks like Twitter, but it doesn't really taste like Twitter. And so far, it's kind of a jumbled mess, right? I'm going to look at it right now.
But it's far more usable than like Mastodon and some of those other Twitter knockoffs where you get on there and you're like, what the hell is this?
You know what it's like? It's like when you go to the dollar store and you see a detergent. And you're like, I cannot believe this is only $1.99. This is $9 at the grocery store.
Yeah.
This detergent's $1.99. This is $9 normally. And you take it home and you set it down and you get ready to use it, and then you look at it and you go, wait a minute, it's Tida. Tida. That little E is like actually
it's
swirls
fake.
all the way
Yeah.
around. It's Tido. Mm-hmm. It feels like the same thing. Like you look at it and you're like, this is Twitter, right? Like I've opened it a few times and I thought I was on Twitter and I'm like, oh no, I'm on Threads.
Yeah, but that's what people want. They just want an alternative that is the same without the negative, all of the, I don't know, every single thing that I ever post now, there's some porn bot that is like,
Do you get
would
the
you
one-
smash? And I'm like,
I get that.
no, like leave me alone, please.
Do you click though to open up the image?
No.
It's the same gal. I've
Oh
tried
my
like
God.
1,000
Yeah,
times.
You really shouldn't click on those, Jake.
I just did the one time.
You're messing with your algorithm now.
Well,
because now you're
believe you me, I know. Clearly,
algorithm's gonna
it doesn't make any difference because you're getting just as many as I am.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm still getting that. I
The
guess.
one thing I've noticed about Threads, clearly Threads, so far the people that have jumped over, I think, are younger.
Oh yeah.
Because of my Twitter following, I have sent, I think, 2 tweets saying, hey, I am on Threads and here's my name. And very few have jumped over and followed me. Not that I care, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think what you're realizing is like you've got like 35,000 followers on Twitter. I've got 18, 19, whatever it is. In reality, if you talk about people that actually like open up their Twitter account at least once a month and use it, you're talking about maybe 10% of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm talking about
it's like
18
gym. It's like gym memberships,
like
right?
literally 1,800 people for me, 3,500 people for you.
That's probably right.
That's essentially what it is because we've been on Twitter for 15 years, Jake. How many of those accounts are inactive now?
Right.
People that signed up originally in 2013 and just never opened it again. And I think what you're realizing with Threads is that I'm getting not as much interaction, but at least enough to notice interaction on Twitter, on Threads with 500 people who are active than
because
18,000 people who
Right.
mostly aren't.
I just find it still kind of confusing.
I don't like that you can't search. That's a real miss to me. You know how TikTok has gained a lot in popularity because people are using it to search for specific topics like how to do something or
Right.
whatever else. And I think Threads is really missing the boat there.
So you have a rethread? Is that what it's called? This basically a retweet?
Yeah, you can repost. Yeah. So retweet that's on Threads.
Okay.
Yes. You could do that. And I saw that you follow me on there. Thank you. And on Instagram because you didn't previously have an Instagram account.
Well, now here's the problem with the Instagram. So Threads is part of the Facebook family.
Yep.
It's like that Whole Foods Amazon connection. In order to like get this, you've got to sign up for that. It's very confusing to me. So I never had an Instagram. I don't care what people are eating. I don't care to see
Well,
what
it's a
they're
lot
eating.
more than that. It's all pictures of my kid. Really.
Yeah, I don't care about your kid.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Nor what you're eating.
You texted that once to Shannon and you sent it to me. So I do
That's
know
right.
that you don't
That's
care
right.
about
Remember
my
I
kid.
came into your office, I'm like, I need to see your phone.
And I said, absolutely not.
Well,
never
Schultz and
touching
Shannon are right there in my contacts together. But I had to sign up to in order not knowing if Twitter was going to go away and if Threads was going to be the new thing. I wanted to make sure that I reserved Jake Query as a user.
Of course, yeah.
So I go on there and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. In order to do this, I have to have an Instagram account. So I had to sign up for an Instagram account. So I signed up for Instagram, and now I have the Threads. Jake Query, by the way, on Threads. And
Derek_Schultz for me.
And on Instagram. So then I look at the Instagram, and I can't figure that out at all. But I'm looking at it, and all I'm seeing is videos of Britney Spears. Like literally everywhere is Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Now, she's dancing around in a thong, so it's fine, right? But it's everywhere. So I say to Shannon, I go, I'm on the Instagram here, and the only thing I'm seeing is Britney Spears. So she looks at it and goes, it's because you're following Britney Spears. Now, I kid you not, as God is my witness, I never followed Britney Spears. Is that like an Instagram, joint Instagram, get Britney free deal?
The algorithm came down and just
Is it because I clicked the open that one photo?
probably. Yeah. You know, you could set your Instagram, though, to just chronological.
Okay,
A lot of people don't know that because it's like kind of hidden up on the menu, but you can do that.
I need to do that.
Because you probably have it under not following, but there are two different segments on there.
Here's another thing. If your kid's under the age of 18 and taking batting practice, I don't need to see it. I don't care.
My feed's been a lot of that lately as well. So a couple of things that I like. I like integrating with your Instagram account. I like carrying over the blue checks so they actually mean something instead of just paying for it. I like that they don't show how many people you're following.
Threads has the blue check?
You know, didn't you? Yeah. Didn't you always like?
Have you gotten the blue check yet?
No.
How do you get the blue check?
I think you have to apply for it. Very, very early on in Twitter, there were those people that were following like 5,000 accounts just because they were following them back, so they have 5,000 followers. So it was like specified, like you were lame if you followed like 10,000 people on Twitter.
Like, for
remember?
example, if your first name is that of a 70 cigarette and your last name is that of a kind of silver, you probably followed 10,000 accounts to get 10,000 followers.
Yeah, like that was a big bugaboo. So I always tried to limit, and I wanted my feed to be clean, so I always tried to limit how many people I was following. But I like the fact that Threads doesn't say how many you're following.
Where do I apply for the blue check mark?
You have to like send in your driver's license and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want
Do
to
you
do
get it back?
No, like a picture of it, you idiot. Dumb stuff, algorithm only, no alternative for chronological feed. And then by integrating it with Instagram, it's just dominant. My entire feed is dominated by brands like Wendy's and then models, because those are the people that are the most active and have the biggest followings on Twitter. I'm surprised I don't have more moms on there. You know how many Instagram moms there are? My cousin married a girl that is got like 50,000 followers, and all she does is she posts videos of herself in like outfits that she bought on Amazon and like recipes, and she's built like this huge audience, and that's like kind of what Instagram is. It's a lot of people like that.
Do people make money off that?
I think it depends. I know she does sponsored posts, so a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Enough to make it worth their while, I guess. Time for our Lou Malnati's Who's Cooking. Let's steer it back into sports, shall we? Order.loumalnatis.com.
We could give this same award to the same person every weekend, by the way. Same with Lard, love that play. But Lou Malnati's, by the way, you want to
play is the person that you're thinking of here.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, no question. You want to talk about fabulous, though. There are a lot of things on this show that we talk about that are fabulous, but very few are more fabulous than Lou Malnati's. I remember several years ago, Dave Rebson, our friend at the Big Ten Network, Derek and I had done some things with him, and I can't remember what the reasoning was, but he sent us a thank you, and that thank you was a gift card in order to mail order, essentially, Lou Malnati's Pizza. Because at that time, you could only get it in Chicago, and it was world-renowned as Chicago-style pizza. The cheese, tomatoes literally this size, the butter crust, absolutely fabulous. And it's the reason why people would drive from Indianapolis to Chicago just to get it. You went to Chicago, you had to go to Lou Malnati's. Guess what? You don't have to do that anymore. You do it right here in central Indiana, including in the weather right now is perfect outside to sit outside, have a great pizza from Lou Malnati's. They've got games set up right there in the grass area for the kids to play in. They got a full bar right there, the canal right behind you on Ferguson in Broderpool. That's their dining location. But, Derek, there are multiple locations to be able to take a pizza home.
Avon, Greenwood, you can grab a pie. 86th Street, West 86th Street, like by Brebeuf. Carmel, the other 4 locations. And then Midtown, grab a delicious Lou's pie. Order.loumalnatis.com. QNS Free Dell, by the way, our delivery code. Right up there.
I didn't realize I've got some 5 o'clock shadow going on there.
Short screen.
Does my face look fat or do I look sexy like this?
No, it looks good. A little salt and pepper.
Wait, do I have something in my ear? Can you see?
As you get older, has your ear hair started to grow a lot more?
Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
Yeah, Derek, I go once a week to the barber just to get out the weed whacker.
like every week I'm in the, sorry to get too graphic on the show, guys. Like, I never had a problem with ear hair before, and then I looked one day and it was like, Forest of Nottingham in there.
Have you looked at your back lately?
Not a single back hair.
Yeah, well, just wait.
Not one. The hair only grows where it's supposed to. That's why the body hair I always kept, because it's very, very appealing, as you can kind of see in the picture there. See, like, look up on the shoulder. I mean, the shoulders look great, too, but look up on the shoulders. Like, there's nothing there. Derek, it's like a baby's bottom.
I got news for you. And as far as your body is
very
concerned,
smooth.
As far as your body is concerned, your ears right now,
yeah,
Hamilton County, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hendricks County. Your back, like Howard County. It's a matter of time.
It's not going to happen.
Matter of time.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I grow it everywhere else, but not on my back. Not on my back.
Okay. Well, just wait.
Maybe my feet make up for that. Maybe that's where my back hair migrated to, tops of my feet. Max Clark, Franklin High School, number 3 pick in the draft.
Franklin Community
Tigers.
High School.
Good for him. He is our Lou Malnati's Who's Cooking, the Baseball America Prep Player of the Year. I'd love to know what that signing bonus was, but can you?
He got $8 million.
I mean, he's got to sign it, I guess, because he also committed to Vanderbilt, right?
Correct.
So he has a choice here of whether he wants to play. If you're picked 3rd overall, you got to go to the pros, right? And take the signing bonus. You have to. I just think
you can't move any higher,
would be
right?
Crazy.
I mean, 2 spots, right?
You'd be crazy to go and play college baseball. To go and do that. Hopefully he does better. Did you see the Indy Stars write-up of all those first-rounders?
Yeah.
I was like, I had forgotten about all these dudes.
You know who I looked up today? Players in the past that have gone number 3 overall. Okay?
Oh,
Steve
cool.
Avery.
Yeah. I remember he was a big deal.
Steve Avery was one of them.
Why'd you lead with Steve Avery?
He was one of the bigger names that popped out. Manny Machado.
Okay.
Donovan Tate, who was the son of Lars Tate, went to the Padres system, ran into some problems.
Didn't like B.J. Upton go 3?
That might be right. There were a couple. I mean, there were a couple of really good players. But for the most part, it was like, gosh.
And I get it with MLB Network. ESPN did a mock draft, and I'm like, guys, I get that college baseball is increasing in popularity. The Major League Baseball draft is never going to be a thing. It's never going to be what the NBA.
I didn't
and
understand.
NFL
There's like
is.
round 2C. What does that mean?
Well, the other thing about it, Jake, is that like if you're not from Indiana, who the hell's Max Clark? You have no idea who that is. Even the best high school players in America, you don't know who they are. So it's just not. It's not the same as the NFL and NBA draft with the name recognition. But congratulations to Max Clark, life changing. He seems like a good dude, good family. Franklin High School Athletics, Community High School Athletics, posted a picture of Max Clark, a drawing that he made when he was 6, like what I want to be when I grow up, and it says baseball player. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then I realized, wait a minute, this was made in 2011.
Yeah.
And then I got really depressed.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? By the way, Dick Schofield.
Dick Sco.
Matt
He was
Williams.
a good player, Dick Sco.
Matt Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Decent player. Brian Anderson. Dustin Hermanson. Jose Cruz. Troy Glaus.
Jose Cruz was supposed to be a big deal and wasn't.
Corey Patterson.
Troy Glaus was on the juice. Corey Patterson kind of busted out.
Evan Longoria.
Yeah, great player.
Donovan Tate. Manny Machado. Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, he ran into some stuff, to say the least.
Those guys were all the 3rd overall pick.
Okay. That's actually not a bad list. Yeah. Not terrible. We come back. NBA Cup. Love that play. We got quick hits still to get to as well. It's Corey and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves on our 5-star customer service. But at our core, we're a family. Family owned, and family to our customers, staff, and our community. From charity events to recognizing hometown heroes, we prioritize giving back to our communities that have always supported our growth. So let us help you get your dream home today.
Hi, welcome back. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. I'm Derek.
What's with the, depressed sound of that? Derek, first off, if you've been sticking around this long, thank you, right? We should be waking people up at this point.
Hi, welcome back to Corey and Schultz.
Yeah.
I'm Derek. That's Jake.
Which tone do you use on your alarm clock on your phone?
Let me think.
That's your wake up?
Yeah.
That wakes you up? I go with dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Why not?
I don't like that. I like the. It wakes me up, perks me up. My phone ring is the.
Here, I'm gonna set mine so you can hear it.
You know what bothers me about phones? Have you had this problem? Sorry, we'll get back to sports here in just a second. I can't get my phone to vibrate when I get like a text message or anything anymore.
I know how to do it. There's a little setting and it has nothing. You would never even know what you're looking.
Oh,
at.
really? Okay.
It's called it's called Hybrid
Or haptics? Is that what you're
haptics,
thinking of?
maybe
okay.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I went in there and I changed it, and it's still. I don't know if I want you touching it. My phone. I don't know if I want you to touch it. Why don't you just tell me?
Well, you go in to haptics.
Okay.
And you
Haptics.
tap it.
Settings. Sounds and haptics.
Yeah.
Okay. What do I tap?
Let me see it. I'll show you.
No, just look.
Keep going.
New voicemail.
Keep going. Okay, right there.
Play
haptics in ring mode. Yeah, you have it on.
Okay. So why is it not working?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
It's not buzzing.
I don't know.
This one's play haptics for system controls and interactions. Maybe I'll do that.
I don't
See if that works.
I don't know.
It's just a little bit annoying. Like, I'm glad I have my Apple Watch on cellular because that one tells me when I have a text message. But the phone, sometimes I'll get a text and I'll have no idea that it's there. It's a little bit annoying.
Call Ryan Robertson. He's our stapled Apple.
Yeah, he's the Apple guy, isn't he?
That's right.
I left some more time to talk NBA Cup because I know you had some thoughts there about whether or not it can become a
My
thing.
alarm's going to go off in a second. I'm excited by that.
Okay, well,
You'll be able to hear what mine sounds like.
just do the show, buddy.
This is an example for those of you at home that are wanting to know what life is like with Jake Query. You're about to find out because typically I take a nap around today, and right about now is when my alarm goes off. 12:30 is what it's set for. Derek, the NBA Cup, so this is essentially a tournament within the regular season. So
The tournament games are regular season.
see? What?
You wake up to that?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is wrong with you?
Like a shot out of a cannon.
Whoa. Yeah, no. That's awful.
Actually, when I hear that noise, it depresses me because I'm like, oh man.
That's awful.
Well, it's better than that. What do you wake up to? You don't. I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Okay. Actually, I know that. Yeah.
This got awkward.
From Howard Johnson. Oh, Jake, it's your,
Yeah, when you were
taken
you were
lots of
ironing
trips
shirts
together.
at 6:30 in the
Yeah.
morning while I was trying to sleep with the Howard
Well,
Johnson.
all they had was a king room, so we had a king.
Well,
So I was on
certainly
one
didn't
side,
live
you were
like
you
one.
were on the other.
The
And,
NBA Cup, Derek, here's my worry. So this is over the course of the 82-game regular season, there is going to be, for a 3-week stretch in November, a tournament that takes place, a tournament. And by that I mean there are games that are going to be played. There are 6 teams per grouping. So when you're playing somebody in your group over the course of this 3 weeks, it is a tournament game. And a record is kept amongst those 6 teams, amongst one another, of the teams that will then advance from this tournament, a knockout round, and then et cetera. And this is all within the scope of the regular scheduled games of the NBA season. And I understand why they're doing this. This is being done plain and simply because what have we heard from fans? What you hear from fans is an 82-game schedule is too long.
they don't care.
We don't need 82 games. Players are sitting out. This is to incentivize players to play in what otherwise are quote-unquote meaningless games in November. This is to entice the fan base to keep an interest. Most people don't even think the basketball season begins until Christmas Day. What are the Christmas Day lineups? That's what I want to watch. I want to watch those games. This is to incentivize people to watch, to pay attention, and on a Tuesday night, a game between the Pacers and the Pistons, you're like, oh, I'll watch because
why not?
they're 2 games back of their NBA Cup, okay? I get it. The one caution that I have of this, NASCAR. What the NBA is trying to do is keep attention and focus year-round. We talked about it with Summer League, the draft. Now they have an NBA combine. And now this is trying to keep people's interest and show them that there's an authenticity and legitimacy to the games in November that they previously dismissed. Okay? But look at NASCAR. Derek, in the year 2000, when you went to the Brickyard 400 and you were there where the driver intros are like a victory circle, it was people as far as the eye could see with disposable cameras mashed up against each other,
Oh,
all
yeah, it was a
hoping to
big
get
deal.
an out-of-focus 9-foot-away shot of Elliott Sadler, right? You go now, you get pulled over on 465, they give you 2 tickets, right?
yeah, pretty much.
And NASCAR realized this, and so NASCAR started coming up with ideas and ways to keep people invested and interested. What was the complaint about NASCAR? Season's too long, races are too long. So now they do stages. You get extra points for winning a stage. You're watching the race in Talladega and you're bored and it's only lap 30. Don't worry, 20 laps till the end of the stage. And points are going to go in for – and then the playoffs and the knockouts and everything else. But the problem NASCAR ran into is it confused people.
Yeah.
And people are like, what's going on?
Too many ideas.
No one could figure it out. And I worry that this is going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like your haptics on your phone.
And it's forced. I think that's the problem. What NASCAR ran into was too many of the ideas felt manufactured. And this is a manufactured event by the NBA. It's just completely different from like the soccer stuff, which it's been a mainstay over there, FA Cup and things like that. It's just completely different. So I like the fact that they make them regular season games and they're not more games. But in all honesty, the solution to helping the regular seasons in baseball and the NBA is not to make the games matter more. They're to shorten the seasons. I mean, ideally, you would have a 60-game NBA season.
A lot of money, man.
I know. The owners aren't going to give it up. This is a pipe dream for me. And you would have like an 125-game Major League Baseball season. Ideally, that's what you would have. But they're never going to do that.
By the way, speaking of jazzing things up amongst Major League Baseball, for example, that takes us to our Love That Play. Brought to you by the good guys at Love Heating and Air. Love-HVAC.com is their website. 317-353-2141 is the telephone number. Again, 317-353-2141. Love Heating and Air has been around for over 100 years. Great product when it comes to furnace, air conditioning, knowledge of the product, customer service, and loyalty. That's the big thing. Going to treat you like family. They've been around for over 100 years because of the ingredient of customer service and great product, great prices as well, and 24-hour on-call maintenance. And do you know, by the way, in 1924, 24-hour on-call maintenance, I mean, first you had to get the carrier pigeon, then they got on the horse, they came out, but they were still committed to doing it. They sponsored my Little League team, Love Heating and Air. I was the Red Sox, right? But
They
Reds.
They sponsored the Red Sox way back when, 1924, when they were the Red Stockings.
That's exactly right.
It was great.
The Reds, not the Red Sox, but the Reds, Derek, this is becoming, our Love That Play is simply becoming named after this particular player, right?
Yeah, I said this on Twitter the other night, and we're so reactionary. Like, everything's the best thing ever. And, whoa, I've never seen this before. Jake, I watched the replay of Ellie De La Cruz stealing second, third, and home in the span of 2 pitches. I must have watched it 25 times. I've never seen anything like it before. You know what's crazy is when, and this happens I think more in baseball than anything else, when you know something's coming. Like a Mariano Rivera cutter. You know it's coming. It's up to you to hit it. Like the Brewers must have known that this was coming, and they were still seemingly helpless to stop it. It was like an avalanche. And
so he gets on, and how did he get on base originally?
I don't even know.
But he's on first, and he steals second.
Yeah.
And he's there.
Which, whatever, big deal. He's one of the fastest players in baseball.
Then there's an off pitch, and then he steals third. Mm-hmm. And when he steals third, like I don't even know that they were guarding third, right? Covering third, right?
They were still reacting to him stealing third, and he's halfway down
the
third baseline, stealing home.
Now, what I don't know, because the camera, this is the bummer of it. He steals third, and the television camera pans over and is showing De La Cruz like adjusting his helmet after stealing third, and he's like 9 feet off the bag. And then he kind of does one of these, and he just takes off, literally like a deer that just saw a car come, just takes off. And the pitcher, I assume, is the one that had the baseball, reacts and throws it home, and like in such a crazy reaction, the throw wasn't even close. And De La Cruz slides headfirst in and steals home. So he steals second, third, and home in 2 pitches. What I want to know is what happened after he stole third. Where was the ball and where was the focus and the attention of the Brewers that allowed him to go home? I've never seen it. I've never seen a wide camera shot.
Yeah, I feel like it was just one of those things where the pitcher had the ball and they were kind of like, God, we let him steal third too. And you're still like kind of reacting to it, not thinking that, oh my God, this is going to happen, because it's so rare that would happen. But first player to do that in a single at bat since Rod Carew in 1969. First Red to do it since 1919. It's believed that stealing second, third, and home in the same game has only happened 54 times ever, and 24 times in the same at-bat. But the problem with baseball records is that, you know, this could have happened 20 times from 1887 to 1904.
Right.
You know, and it still counts as baseball records. In modern baseball, like I had Howard Kellman on Bob Level's show on Saturday night, and, you know, he's a walking baseball historian. Right. I was like, Howard, have you ever seen something like that? Somebody stealing second, third, and home in the same at-bat? And he said no.
And you know, what does Howard say that he loves about the beauty of baseball is that you never know when you can see something you've never seen before.
I mean, it's insane. It's incredible, and he's electric, and hopefully baseball knows what they have here, and they do something about it, because they're so bad at promoting their stars.
Well, once he gets to New York and becomes a Yankee, it'll be...
Well, yeah, that'll help too, or a Met maybe. 353-2141, love-hvac.com. We come back, quick hits, and we will wrap up this edition, episode 144. Can you believe it?
Is it really?
Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Back for final time. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network, alongside Jake Corey. I'm Derek Schultz. Thanks to Vince.
Tell me that you found
Thanks to
anvil
Ray.
stickers.
Thanks to Jordan. Chateau Kitchens will have basement pictures next week, or maybe the week after. They're coming over to take professional pictures, so we'll share that on the show.
They're coming over to take professional pictures.
Yeah. of a professional
Well,
basement.
like
that they
Olin
did.
Mills is coming over,
And I'm going
You're gonna
through
be in front of a little fake library.
some of the stuff that I've had in storage for a while, including I have a tote, which is basically just a WNDE tote. It's just all the stuff that I cleaned out at the office in the studio that I wanted to take. And just found some old show swag like koozies and some stickers and things like that. And then a listener letter. Do you remember the guy that wrote us a letter that said, he wrote it to Rick Green, our old boss. Derek is juvenile on the show and Jake's not. And Derek says that I didn't grow up in the tri-state area because his is the only tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. And Derek intentionally mispronounces the name Rucker. He thinks he's a celebrity, which nobody knows who he is, which is laughable that somebody would assert such a thing. I saved that letter, and I posted it on Twitter yesterday. And he said he didn't listen to JMV because he swears on the air. And I was like,
It's Carl, right?
yeah, Carl, with a K.
That's right. We had a laugh about that yesterday over our weekly beer together.
Nice.
Carl and I,
it was pretty funny. Oh, I thought you meant you and JMV. Yeah.
No.
You know what? I'll give Carl with a K credit. He wrote it on a company letterhead and used his full name. So I actually looked him up. He lives in Fisher still.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to message him.
Did you not include the letterhead?
No, I didn't include his last name either.
Did you ever reach out to him?
No.
Oh man, that's the best.
No.
When people come after me, like I love converting them.
Yeah, sometimes you disarm people by doing that, but like if you don't get the show, then there's no point in me trying to get you to get it. Like obviously I know that it's Rutgers. Obviously I know that there are multiple tri-state areas.
And obviously you know you're not a celebrity.
Well, that part he's wrong. That's Carl with the K is dead wrong on that part. But the other two things, like it's just kind of part of the show. You know, what I tell people is that, yes, it's a serious show, but we do tend to embellish some things on this program.
I don't know what that would be.
For those that
You
don't
really did
realize
get pinned
that.
by a girl, right?
Unfortunately, that really did happen. Quickly, let's get through our quick hits. This Northwestern hazing situation keeps changing. But a 2-week suspension for Pat Fitzgerald before we sit right now on Monday evening. We'll see if that changes.
Derek.
I'm surprised this stuff still exists, Jake. Were you surprised when you read it?
Here's the thing. And I want to be very clear here that this is not me saying that I think that man is innocent, whatever else. When you have an athletic program, there are two things that create for a very sticky situation. When you have a coach that's making multi-million dollars and you have a program that has 100 young men that are in it, there are always going to be a handful of players that are upset, offended, feel like they're not getting the right minutes, whatever it might be. You have to exhaustively research every allegation to make sure that there is credence to it because of the money and the legality that is involved from a contractual standpoint. So that's why Northwestern has been slow to react. You have to be, because they've got to make sure from a legal standpoint that they are looking over everything.
Sounds like these accusations have merit, but also maybe this player had an axe to grind, but that doesn't make it right.
Remember
That doesn't
Craig
make it
James?
right.
Remember Craig James' son?
Yeah.
Got
Doesn't
Mike
make it
Leach
right.
fired at Texas Tech, and then after the fact you find out, actually,
But this
everything
whole
was made
thing,
up.
like, well, the coach didn't know. Look, in major athletics, I have a hard time believing any coach doesn't know everything that's going on with his program.
Right.
You tell me Nick Saban doesn't know everything that's going on in Alabama?
No, you're right.
Give me a break. MLB All-Star Game in Seattle. Did you know it was in Seattle?
Have you been there?
No, never.
Beautiful this time of year.
Home Run Derby tonight, and then the All-Star Game tomorrow, and then Ben Davis basketball has unblocked Jake.
What the hell was that all about? Ben Davis basketball sends a tweet. They were putting the apostrophe on the wrong spot in terms of years for players, and it's a high school. So I said, hey, not to be that guy, but just so you guys know, the apostrophe goes before the numbers. They blocked me.
You're good. Thanks to Bailey & Wood Financial Group. Our
Great
friends
way
at
to
Long
get your
Eyes.
message out. Let's pick one of the
Love heating
4
and
people
cooling.
that actually does sports in Indianapolis and make
And
sure they
Chateau
can't read
Kitchens.
what we're talking about.
Basement picks coming up later this month for Vince, for Rake, for Jake. I'm Derek. We will see you next time. Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves on our 5-star customer service. But at our core, we're a family. Family owned, and family to our customers, staff, and our community. From charity events to recognizing hometown heroes, we prioritize giving back to our communities that have always supported our growth. So let us help you get your dream home today.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness.
122.60 for Penn.
What a swim. Six of them.